Why are so few people happy? The world is full of people pursuing happiness, pursuing well being, and yet so often without any success. Why might that be? One obvious point to make would be that in order to achieve some end, the conditions, the necessary and sufficient conditions of achieving that end need be met. So, for example, if there's a task in mind, such as to build a bridge, we have to figure out what are the, as they're called, laws of physics, of physical reality, such that need be conformed to would the bridge be built. When we send a spaceship into space, launch a satellite, we have to figure out what's going on here. What are the rules? If I want to launch a satellite and I just throw something up into the air, that's not going to launch a satellite. If I want to build a bridge, a rail bridge, that is, and I use scotch tape and some cardboard, also not going to cut it for rail cars. So we need to figure out what is going on, and then we need to conform our efforts to those needed conditions. Would we get the desired result? So here in question, the desired result or outcome is quote unquote happiness. A broader term could be well-being. Perhaps an even broader term could be existence that is adequate, right? Where I do not feel myself torn apart by conflicts and complexes, where I do not feel like a tiny, small, little piece of nothing. Well, I feel okay. I feel fine, even without great highs, right, of happiness understood in some kind of acute sense, like, oh, I'm very, very happy right now, even without that, just where things are fine. So, what would be a necessary condition would that objective be met? Broadly speaking, it could be said to be to not be evil, to not be bad. Because if it was possible for bad people, for evil people to be truly happy and to truly enjoy well being, that would be illogical, meaning non logical. The world would then be a screwed up and confusing place. What kind of place would it be? Where, again, being bad, being wicked, being evil, I can be happy. I can be truly satisfied with life. That would not make any sense. So it makes sense that the evil cannot truly be happy, that the bad cannot truly be happy. The only question to ask is, of course, who is bad and who is evil? The evident answer that I may well give is, that person over there that I saw on the news, the person that does something very antisocial. They destroy a lot of things, and obviously it can get worse from there. Those are bad people. The people, again, I see in the news, their mugshots, the people I hear of, the people in the stories, maybe some of my personal enemies are also exceptionally bad. But one person that is certainly not bad is, of course, me. I'm good. I'm definitely not evil at all. That's a given. Anybody else, who knows, but not me. So that would be the first delusion to bust apart. Right? The first person that I need to recognize as bad is me, myself, and I. And that would then give us the key to proceeding forward vis-a-vis the objective at hand, which is personal well-being and such. How, however, am I bad? How am I perhaps even evil? That could be a strong word. We could stick with bad to be a little bit softer. One approach here would be to ask ourselves, to what extent am I willing to sacrifice myself, to give myself, my very self, away, as opposed to clinging to it in the sense of me, mine, I am my very own. You mean I will not give myself away? To understand what that means, we could consider the analogy of a relationship, be it between a parent and a child, two spouses, two good friends. What is it really that is the highest good to give away in the context of a close personal relationship? Is it money? Is it time? Is it good deeds? Is it other kinds of financial support, material support? If I'm a parent, what's the best thing that I can do for my child? Is it to give my child something? Right? Is it to give them food? Is it to give them housing? Obviously, that should be a given, if at all possible. Parents up to a certain age are expected to provide materially for their children, but is that really what the child needs and wants? A spouse, I give my spouse flowers, I give my spouse even time and even attention, but is that really the highest thing that I can give my spouse? So the answer would seem to be no. The highest thing that I can give to my child as a parent is me. The highest thing that I can give to my spouse as a partner is me. Even to a good friend, the highest thing that I can give is me. Now, what does it mean to give me is a good question. There would have to be a me first to give. That's why little children are not able to be in serious relationships of any kind, including friendship. They can be buddy buddies, but first there has to be a real me in order to be able to give that me away. And then I have to freely, autonomously, that's different, choose to be there fully for you. Choose to say, I am yours. Not just my time is yours, not just my money is yours. I am yours. Now, obviously, there's a million deviations and pathologies that are connected with such self-giving. And I give myself away out of weakness, out of various sorts of, again, pathologies and neuroses. I need to feel blended with another person. I need to feel supported. I can't bear the weight of my own existence. I need to subsume it into the existence of another, whatever the case might be. But the ideal, the healthy ideal, is still the ideal. I am an autonomous, real, unique individual, and I choose to give myself fully in the context of my most serious relationships to, again, excuse me, my close friends, my children, my spouse. I'm not holding on and holding back. Right? Again, you can have this, that, and the other, but you can't really have me. You can't really have my heart. You can't really have myself. I'm not doing that. So, as an analogy, then, that could work as it concerns our relationship with reality at large. What is needed from us by way of reality at large, to so phrase it, is that self-giving, albeit again in a healthy, proper way. We try to give ourselves quite often in unhealthy, improper ways. For example, I will give myself over to the cult, to the cult leader, to the political party. I will melt away in the crowd, be it a violent mob or even something fine, which is at a concert with maybe some things involved. Right? I just want to melt away. I just want to not exist as an individual. It's too painful. There's too much anxiety. There's too much stress. There's too much worry about being inferior. I'm going to get behind this group, this team, this person. Right? I'm going to give myself away, but not in that healthy, wholesome, proper way, but in all kinds of improper ways. But the ideal would be to give myself away in the proper, healthy way. I build myself up as a person, as an individual. And then I do not hold on to myself. I do not say, I am mine. My will is mine. My abilities and gifts are mine. My body is mine. Everything is mine. Maybe the whole world is mine too. And that's that. Now leave me alone. And we're kind of speaking to our conscience here. Now leave me alone, leave me be, and let me do what I please and let me satisfy my desires. That would be a good picture of moral bad. And if it's aggravated, it would certainly be then appropriate to call it evil, moral evil. What would be the converse of that? Again, I build myself up and I give myself away, albeit not to the cult, not to the political party, not even to people in again that lower sense. I need to be constantly in an extreme romantic swoon because that's what I psychologically need. No, not that either, but to always be shooting for sacrifice to the highest notion of reality that I can handle at any point of my development, whatever that means for me. What is reality? What is the ceiling of reality? Right? Oftentimes, obviously, we hear, reality is the quote unquote universe, or reality is the stars, or whatnot, but those are just words. Right? Reality would probably be something that would be or could be experienced or intimated. And if we're honest and sincere, we're shooting for that reality, and we're shooting to give ourselves away by way of that reality. So that would be along the lines of what it means to be good. Now we can ask ourselves, according to those criteria, am I good or am I bad? Am I truly willing to give myself up in a way? Am I truly willing to give up my will? And again, in a healthy, proper sense, not out of weakness, not out of pathology, not out of self-idolatry. I'm tired of, being inferior. So I give myself up to some kind of bigger cause, right? And that way, I'm nothing. It's all about the cause. But by the way, the cause is my new idol. That's my new ceiling to reality. None of that. Right? So am I willing to properly give myself away and give up my will or not? And if the answer is no, which is the case for virtually all of us, and certainly all of us that are self-conscious about the questions of whether or not we are good or bad, if I'm thinking, no, I definitely give myself away. I am the biggest self-giver. I have no self-will. I should probably try to gain some self-awareness. So, am I willing to give myself up or not? And if the answer is no, then I'm not a good person, even if I do good deeds and I'm nice and I give milk to kittens and I pet the puppies behind the ear and I do all kinds of nice things. I'm not truly a good person. And if I'm not truly a good person, then I cannot truly be happy and I cannot truly have well-being, because only truly good people ought to truly be happy and ought to have true well-being. So it's likely then that what I do is to seek for various kinds of panaceas, meaning quick fixes. So, for example, these are the 10 things that bring me satisfaction. I like to, not to name anything specific, maybe I like to play with my fingers and twiddle my thumbs and things like that. Whatever the case might be. These are my happiness activities. I always have something happy to do, right? And I'm always researching about the latest, what the studies say about happiness and well-being, and how to reduce my anxiety and how to reduce my depression. And my therapist tells me this and that, which can all be great, not to criticize anything, but all the same, if I am ultimately set on self, if ultimately it's me, I, if ultimately it's a big fat no to any prospects of proper self-giving, then all that other stuff is just band-aids. It's just fluff, and really ultimately just makes me worse, because I kind of sink into myself and I get more and more insulated, we might say, as time goes on. And further, I'm that much less likely to have a real self to give away, because arguably to have a real self, I have to give myself up. I have to give up my self-will and see what happens then. Well, I'm trying to concoct artificially a self, I, and then fill in the self concept, the wonderful one, the horrible one, the intelligent one, the stupid one, whatever it might be. Well, I'm engaging in the self-idealization. That's not really a self. That's just a figment of my fancy. To have a self, I need to give that self-will up, give that self-idolatry up, and see who I become. So anyways, to briefly summarize, in order to truly be happy and or to have true well-being, I need to be a truly good person. In order to be a truly good person, I cannot be set on self. I have to be open to the prospect of self-giving. I have to be willing to give up my self-will. And if I'm not open to that prospect, and if I'm not willing to do that, then I also cannot have happiness and I cannot have well-being. And perhaps the best step forward in that case would be to simply recognize those facts instead of fleeing from them. So we can think about it.